Spaz, don't ruin this.
What?
What?
I'm going to tell you to look up at the stands at some point in this game, and you're going to start to see them empty out. We've made the decision before we've even stepped on the field. All day, it's thumbs down. It's no mercy. And when this thing's over with, we're going to ask, are you not entertained? Right? Are you not entertained?
Oh, we are entertained. I was wondering that the whole game. I was like, what is
Why do they
this
keep
thumbs?
doing this?
I was like, what is this thumbs down thing that they're doing? It made sense then later when they went on to be like, yeah, we watched the Gladiator film. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense then. Never mind. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. Anyways, yeah, welcome in everyone to the Oregon Live right here on the Voice of College Football. Spaz is in a room full of smoke. How are you doing, Spaz?
Victory.
Oh yes, there were
Many
some
levels.
Yeah, there was a obviously yesterday was a very important day. I don't know if everyone was living under a rock or not, but there was important things that happened yesterday, and the most important thing that happened was Oregon is the confirmed number one in the college football playoff. Much like in 2014, not number one, but they came into the playoff pretty strong in 2014, the first one. So, kind of setting the standard here, I think.
Yeah. Oregon is really definitely getting better. If you watch that video, the clip that you put up, as Lanning put, we're getting better every week. We're getting better defensively. We're getting better on all levels, and we're just really starting to click on all cylinders. One goes down, another one comes up. With Tez Johnson going down, now we have Gary Bryant coming back this week, his first snaps of the year. So life is good in Eugene.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of the injury updates coming up, but what this does mean is the sense of the number one ranking. It's it's just a ranking at this moment, obviously in time. There's still 3 games to go, the potential Big Ten title game, and then the playoffs, obviously, unless absolute catastrophe happens somehow along the way. So I think all you can say, this is a big momentum builder along the way with recruiting and just the way that, Dan is establishing himself. Because you look at the rest of the Pac-12 or former Pac-12, now Big Ten, they all suck. They're at least mid. Let's put it that way. I won't say necessarily they suck, but they're mid-level. Let's put it that way.
31-5 in just over 3 years. Undefeated against against unranked opponents. Going for, I believe, our 22nd or 23rd consecutive victory against unranked opponents this Saturday as a 25-point favorite. That's
and again, that's
high.
not even talking about Maryland specifically. It's just saying out of the Pac-12 teams that are in the Big Ten now, the rest of them suck.
Yeah.
I mean, you give UCLA some credit. Those guys are actually fighting now. It's like they figured out the system or something, because all of a sudden they're looking like a whole different team than we saw in the beginning of the year when it was like a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
down there.
Yeah, their offense is starting to gel with Garbers, and they're getting some good play from their line. And Ethan Garbers is not a bad quarterback. You give that guy time, you give him a time and a pocket to throw in, and he's proven over the years to be a decent quarterback, both at Cal and now UCLA.
Yeah. I mean, he beat out Dante Moore. I mean, Moore was throwing picks like crazy, but so was Garbers. But Garbers was the most steady and stable. Then you bring in Bieniemy, and all of a sudden, it has taken a while, as people noted. It takes a while to get used to that type of offense and the play calls and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
the enemy's offense is a little different.
That's a little. They say they've said it's basically it's complex in the way he runs it and calls it, and
Very schematic. Yes.
they seem to be gelling now. So shout out to Deshaun Foster, who actually might salvage the season, at least in a positive way.
Yeah, they end up with 5-6 wins. That's a win.
Oh yeah, I think they were only like a 4 team, or estimated
4 win. Yeah,
4 games this year. So I mean, that'd be a win after the beginning of the season. God, Washington. Jed Fish is trying. He's in a tough spot. He's a good coach, but Washington is. This is a full rebuild year for Washington. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to analyze Washington this year.
Yeah, they had lost so many players. They're, like you said, total rebuild up north. But they played well the last couple of games. Last week they had a really good game. Was it that Southern California school, I believe?
The University of Spoiled Children? That one?
University of Spoiled Children.
That one.
Tim Brangley knows those kids really well.
He knows a little thing about that school. Yeah, I will say I was the first half was impressive for Washington last week. Second half, not as much, but when they needed to step up defensively, they did.
Yeah,
absolutely did. Speaking of the University of Spoiled Children, Lincoln Riley. Can USC fans stop? You're not firing Lincoln Riley. You owe him literally like $80 to $90 million for a buyout. You can't buy him out.
If you want to get rid of all your nil money, you probably could. But
well, that's what I mean. You would tank it for like a decade if you paid that type of money to buy him out. You'd be fucked. There we go. There's the first F-bomb tonight. Love it.
Fucking Ben with them goddamn F-bombs.
Check. F-bomb dropped. And now Lincoln Riley, of course, we were talking behind the stage of him swapping quarterbacks now. So instead of Lincoln Riley, again, owning that he just makes terrible play calling decisions, blames the quarterback, who they decide to have throw 50 times in the rain.
But it's his fault.
Yeah, exactly. That's Lincoln Riley. I wonder why a quarterback would want to go there.
Gee, they're possibly on losing their third quarterback commit in 3 years. I mean, what does that say? You're out there recruiting these top level quarterbacks in Miller Moss and Juju Lewis and who's the one that just left last year?
Oh, well, what do you mean? Not Williams. Obviously, he got drafted, but
the one that was starting last year, and then Malachi Nelson.
Oh yeah, Nelson.
So
yeah,
and you're talking now. They're talking that Juju Lewis is probably either going to Indiana or Colorado, or USC. He's still committed at this point. But there's a lot of talk out in Twitter land that Juju Lewis is either headed to Indiana or Colorado. And if you lose a third top-notch recruited quarterback in 3 years, I mean, what does that say?
Well, I mean, I could go both ways. One, yes, doesn't look good. Is it great? No. But at the same time, you have other prospects. So, it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like Oregon right now. If we lose a 4-star, but we have another 4-star lined up, it's kind of like, well, whatever. I don't know the USC recruiting situation in that sense, but I think they'll be okay. But I don't blame the other guy for looking at Indiana, especially if Signetti stays there because Signetti kills. Shout out Signetti.
And what does that do for benching this kid? What does that do for his confidence?
That's the biggest thing I have kind of the issue for is you started him last year in the bowl game because Williams was going pro. Look really good. And then you go in the season.
They beat LSU on the road in that first game.
Yeah, and then everything just kind of unravels. But he's still putting up good numbers. Now he's throwing a bunch of picks, but at the same time, do you not have to look at yourself and go, maybe it's play calling?
Oh,
is it not entirely on the quarterback? It has to be looked at as like, oh, this is maybe also play calling. Or defense is not holding up. Why are we throwing it 50 times in the rain at Washington instead of just running the damn ball? So you take the scapegoat. Yeah, it doesn't look good.
I mean, does he end up feeling threatened? Does he decide, maybe this isn't what I am, what I want to be, so I'm out of here?
I don't know.
I mean, it's an awful risk benching your quarterback mid-season like this.
Yeah. I mean, I guess at the same time, it's stubborn coaching, but at the same time, I guess it's like, they're like, we have nothing to lose. USC's 4-4 or 4-5, I believe.
4-5, yes.
4-5 on the season, rather. Sorry. So yeah, no one else outside the whole Pac-12 schools doing very good outside of your number one Oregon Ducks. Oh, and Spaz, I want to clarify. Every time you say Twitterland, if you ever say that again, you have to go Twitterland. You got to do jazz hands.
Twitterland.
Yeah, you got to do jazz hands when you just say Twitterland. Yeah, just in reference for
shout out to Scotto, Twitterland.
Just in future, no one on this show seeing this will know who Scotto is. I don't think. Well, there will be a few, but no one else will know. So yeah, we got injuries. Yes, injuries. Oregon's been pretty blessed outside the first few weeks of shuffling the O-line to figure it out with Bedford's absence. Oregon's pretty lucky on injuries. They have not happened like much. That's been very fortunate. Yeah, that's been very, very fortunate. Obviously, against Michigan, Tez Johnson goes down. Everyone's freaking out, including Spaz. And I'm like, calm down. Let's see the news. The news is good. It is nothing overly severe. It is just a shoulder injury and probably going to be out the rest of the regular season, at least. But he will come back. So, good news.
Potentially could be back for Washington in 3 weeks because it would be 4 weeks at that point.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was one extremely good news to hear that it was just a shoulder injury, no surgery or anything like that required. So that just means basically let him recover and rest and recuperate from the injury. I am so happy Spaz put up the avatar before he blew his nose. He didn't mute himself though. I apologize, chat. But at least he turned his camera off. Oh man.
Oh fuck. Sorry.
You're good. But yeah, if we're looking at injuries again, it's again, we have been blessed. So at least
hit to the offensive line with Marcus Harper this week.
Yeah.
Still don't know how long he's going to be out. He says he's good, says he's okay. So, I mean, maybe it's just a week or two.
Yeah, there was not a ton of specific info with Harper necessarily, but it didn't seem anything major. It was more like keep him out at that time just to not make it worse.
Yeah, he's probably going to miss this week. Probably going to miss the Wisconsin game.
And
I'd
I think
expect to
that's
see
okay.
him. I'd expect to see him back probably for the Washington game.
Yeah, I mean, that gives him a solid 3 weeks recuperate, same as like Tez Johnson. Uh, obviously Ferguson was out for a little bit, but that was an appendix thing. That was a pretty just standard procedure type of thing, but they didn't want to rotate him in heavily this last game against Michigan, but they did get him in there. Same as Birch. He's back, so it's kind of acclimate them back to the game, but not overdo it. Don't risk injuries again.
Yeah, I think maybe you could see Harper and Tez both possibly back. I would say if not for the Washington game, probably good for them to both be in the Big Ten title game. You're looking at what, 5 weeks? Because
Yeah.
they're a week between the end of the regular season and then the Big Ten
No,
title,
no, I
or
think
is it the very next week?
it's the same. It's the next week.
It's the very okay.
It's the next week. Yeah. So, but if they come back for the Washington game, fine. Point is, that's still a good solid 3 to 4 weeks to fully recover. And, oh God, Marcus Harper's backup. Why is this name just slipping my mind all of a sudden? I knew I should have written it down because I knew my mind I was gonna lose it. He filled in all right. He was the most experienced O lineman backup that they had to put in for the at the right guard, but he got pressured. But that was a hard spot to just all of a sudden throw him in the lineup, kind of unexpectedly. I mean, it was a tough decision, but he did all right.
Yeah, and I think with reps and practice and stuff, I think he'll be all right to go.
Yeah, because we have I don't think he's a true freshman. I think he's a redshirt freshman, like third string. That people were wondering why they didn't put him in, but I was like, that's a tough spot to go right off the bench as like a redshirt freshman and put him in the lineup. So they went with the safer option, for Harper. But yeah, thinking of Tez Johnson, shout out one Trayshawn Holden for keeping composure this game and stepping up in the time of need. Because Evan Stewart is getting double teamed basically at this point in time, I think, by a lot of teams. So Trayshawn stepped up big.
And Evan's gonna get double teams now. Trayshawn keeps balling. He's gonna end up getting double teams. And then that's just going to open it up for guys like Gary Bryant and the tight end. Shit.
Nah, you're not the only one. Yeah, we'll get to the tight. Yeah, we'll get to the tight end. But yeah, Bryant coming back potentially, as Lanning said, he should be available. I think will be huge. I don't know how much they're going to use him exactly, but he's still a nice backup option.
He got some nice deep balls last year. People forget about Gary Bryant. He was kind of like I believe he was like the number 3 guy last year for the most part.
Sounds about right. Somewhere, about third.
He got some big passes in a couple of games last year for Bo.
Yeah,
I believe one was like a 70-yard bomb right down the sideline.
Well, he's great in the screen game too.
Yeah,
he's not as shifty as Tez Johnson, but he's got the ability still.
He's quick.
Yeah,
he's got the quick feet. He can catch, spin off a tackle, and be gone.
And so, yeah, Gary Bryant should be back. Again, how much they'll use him in the first game this week, again, acclimate him, let him kind of warm back up, so to say, in the system. But we were talking about it on the post game, and so far what I've seen from other, I guess, Duck shows, basically, they all agree with what we talked about, where it's like, well, just put Sadiq out there in Tez Johnson's place and it'll be just fine. Most of them actually agreed with that. They're like, yeah, just put him out there. He's not 100% like a full traditional tight end. As we said, he's kind of the gadgety tight end where He can be a receiver. He can run the screens. He can do the jet sweeps. He's kind of like all around, just a very versatile tight end.
And he can block. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, depth wise, as Calvin Hilt said, the depth this year is not an issue. There are multiple options to fill in the void right now for Johnson, which again, he's not done for the year. They're just going to let him recover fully, obviously, before injury. We're not going to see, and obviously Justice Lowe is filled in nicely. It doesn't sound like we're going to see a lot of Jerrion Dickey still. He's been, I guess, dinged up a little bit, and so
yeah, I'm curious as to what's going to happen with Jerrion Dickey. Does he stay another year, or does he really want to get an opportunity to play somewhere else? Because I believe if he went to another program, he'd probably get some reps.
Yeah, he's been kind of like dinged up this year, but with the incoming recruits, the transfers, which we don't even know what's happening with the transfers, obviously coming up later on. It's tough because if he was 100% all the time, you'd probably see him like in the Justice Lowe situation or spot. But Justice Lowe stepped up, filled in, and even kind of took over the spot for Holden. But now Holden's going to come back in with Johnson out. So it's kind of a rotating door of who's going to fill the void. And everyone's doing a great job doing it, though. So, yeah. So, Dickey. Then we have, and I mean, behind Dickey's McClellan and Pelham. The wide receiver room is deep. They're just not
and you got Cooper
established.
Perry coming in that put out this week that he is going to early enroll and is going to practice with the team for the playoffs. So first part of January, Cooper Perry will be enrolled and will be at least on the practice team and squad. And probably travel with the team to whatever bowl or bowl games they go to.
That is an early enrollment. I mean, but that's definitely getting time to acclimate and get used to the offense more than just the spring. That's really
exactly.
Yeah.
So we had somebody do that last year too, I believe.
Oh, God, I couldn't tell you who that was.
I think it wasn't Stewart. Who was it that? We had a couple guys that came in early enrolled last year and practiced for the bowl game for the Liberty.
I really couldn't tell you who that was. Yeah.
Remember who it was now, but I do remember. So, I mean, that's saying something. If guys are wanting to early commit and just getting the reps and learning the system and stuff down, it says something about their character and their will to want to be a part of what is turning in to be a very special program here in Eugene.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you do see Jerrion maybe transfer, but this year he hadn't played enough. I think he could actually he could request a medical this year because he's been banged up, I think. I don't think he's been in enough games. I think he's only been in like two games or something like that. So, which is another good thing. The coaching staff has done this year is rotating people in and out to not burn red shirts, to be able to allow them to keep those red shirts. So,
I might try to, because I sit in the same section. Last game, his mom and his brother were like 2 rows behind me.
Maybe a little,
and I'm sitting in the same section again. This
kind of ask them like, "Hey, how's everything looking with the program?"
Yeah.
Knowing Spaz, he'll just walk up and spill his beer on him and be like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Something like that. And I'll be like, "Damn it, Spaz." So it'll be interesting coming up. I mean, it's kind of. We always respect the player. If they're not playing, not getting the playing time, they feel like maybe they're just going to get buried. Kind of like Ty Thompson.
Yeah.
Love him, wish him the best. Same with any player. If they come in, they stay for a couple years, it's just not working out. By all means, move on. It's better for you. 100% respect. These days, and always, players got to do what's best for them or what they think is best for them. So, not going to harp on them too much about that type of stuff. Let's see here. What do we got? This weekend, obviously, we're looking at Maryland, and there's specifically a couple big. I didn't tell you about this segment. There's a couple big recruits coming in to watch the game. Specifically, I'm sure there's more. Obviously, there's always recruits coming to watch games, but now this guy's already committed. But four-star running back Ball is coming to watch this game. He's a 2025 four-star running back commit to Oregon. He will be there, as well as four-star commit tight end Cure of Kansas State is going to be coming in to watch the Oregon Ducks, as he is on Flip Alert or Flip Watch from Kansas State to the Ducks.
Watch.
Yeah,
High Flip Watch. On 3 24/7 have all said that Cure is definitely on High Flip Watch right now.
Bringing him in this late to watch a game at Oregon, and he's a big guy, but he's kind of like he feels kind of like a Sadiq build, but maybe a little bit bigger. So maybe he's like a Ferguson type, but yeah, that Kansas State probably is not liking that.
No, and you can give some of that to the Savage family too, probably.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, definitely. I think there's probably some kind of inkling there, but I think it's also just the coaching staff having talked to him before and then going, "Hey, why don't you come and watch a game?"
Yeah, and now that it's gotten later in this season, these different commits may not like what they're seeing out of the program they've committed, and yet another program that it is still talking to them and keeping in contact with them, and how's your season going, how's your year going, and they see these programs over here going like this, and the program they're committed to is like going like this. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't want to play here now. Me don't like this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I think it can be a mix of both. Obviously, I mean, it's not one directly or the other. It's probably a mixture. But getting him on campus to watch a game this weekend is it's still a huge potential. And Oregon doesn't have a tight end commit.
Yeah, if you get him to commit, and then you get Overeem to commit and Flip from Ohio State, those pretty high flips.
Yeah, because
and that'll put you right back up there in the top 2 or 3 in the 25 class, most likely.
I'm trying to think, because again, we do not have a tight end commit this next year. Obviously, we have Sadiq. We're gonna lose Ferguson, and I just had to look. Yes, we're also losing Herbert. So
yeah, but you also still have George.
What's his name? We haven't seen him. So
the other tight end. Saparilla, I believe, or.
Let me look. I've got the roster up here now. Can I filter by position? That'd be nice. Can I? I can. Tight ends. No, that didn't allow me to do that. What the hell? It allowed me to filter by position, and then it didn't pull the tight ends. What the hell? Okay, there we go.
Salapega.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Thank you, Captain.
That's why I was like, hold on, let me look at this, because
I knew it started with an S, and I just couldn't. It didn't quite. I knew the first name. and I know he had played in a few games for us already this year. I think he's
Yeah,
got a
but
few passes.
you have barely seen him at
Yeah.
all. Like, so we
But
do
he's
need.
like I've heard he's very project this year, and they're very high on him. I believe he was a high recruit as well for Dan.
Yeah, but losing Herbert and Ferguson, both are seniors.
Yeah,
The
you need to
tight
fill
end
those
room's going to be a
holes.
little thin. So, yeah, the point is the tight end room's going to be thin. So,
Oh yeah, he's the one that recovered the onside kick against Ohio State.
so he's been more of a special teams
Yep.
guy. Yeah, in the sense of the offense itself, though, has not been like a huge role. So, like you say, a little bit of a project, acclimate to the game a little bit more in the system. But yeah, another tight end is never going to be hurtful because the way that now Oregon's trying to build up the lines, another tight end is always good.
And having a big bruising, blocking, and catching tight end, Travis Kelce-ish, a frame the size of Travis Kelce that, can either block on the edge for you or can give you big plays in the passing department.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's needed. Obviously, there's going to be some other commits and or prospects at this game. I didn't see a whole lot of news. We were talking earlier. This my Twitter feed has been blown up with a bunch of other news for people who don't live under a rock. But that's for another show. So Spaz.
4 more years.
Jesus.
Damn, we got monkeys in the room.
So, all right, Spaz, I sent you a video link. You watched part of it. You didn't do your homework. But as we get into the first ever meeting of
Terp Week,
Oregon versus the Terps, the first ever time these teams have ever met, I sent you the Mike Locksley weekly presser as
he was
Maryland.
funny.
Yeah, Maryland's coming off. I didn't realize until earlier. Every team we're playing, the last 3 teams, everyone has a bye before we play them.
Huh.
Maryland's coming off a bye. Wisconsin's going to have a bye, and then Washington and Oregon have a bye the same week before we play. I'm like, what the hell?
Kind of fishy.
But yeah, no, it just kind of popped up through Big Ten Network on YouTube. So if you haven't watched it, just look at it, everyone. Michael Locksley's presser this week. Yeah, he's kind of a no nonsense. He just speaks his mind kind of guy. Like, he's an older coach. I don't know how old Michael Locksley actually is.
He was comical. We're gonna come. We're gonna play, and we're gonna have fun, and we're probably gonna get our ass kicked, and that's okay.
As long as we execute what we can do. I mean, he was very straightforward. There was about the interceptions, where we're going to talk about the quarterback here in a minute, but he was talking about the interceptions. Like, well, the quarterback's getting hit, it gets put up. It could have been a touchdown, but it was a pick. I mean, it could be what it is. If a fifth is a fifth, we'd all be drunk right now. I was like, what? Oh man.
Yeah. He's a no nonsense guy. He's got a good sense of humor, and he gets his kids to play for him. This year, I think a part of the reason that he's having the bad luck this year is, his quarterback, everybody thought was coming back. Tuiasosopo or whatever. The Dolphins brother.
Tua's brother. Yeah.
Tua's brother. I believe that's what the Dolphins fans are calling him. Is Tua boy.
But even when he didn't play the bowl game, their guy Billy Edwards played played really good in that bowl game. Now, granted, that was against Auburn, but I mean, he looked good. This year, he's still pretty good. It's just a few more turnovers, and their defense is not the same as last year either.
Their defense is god awful this year. And case in point, we might get our first 50 burger this week. Might.
You calm your ass down, Spaz.
It's possible.
I think Spaz is just hungry. He's just thinking of burgers. Where is your food? Where is Mrs. Spaz?
Hey, I ate right before I got on the show. I just finished putting my stuff away like about 2 minutes before you got on.
I wish I had an applause button on my soundboard. I haven't gotten to look. I mean, personally, I have not watched a Maryland game this year.
I haven't either.
No offense to Maryland.
Highlights.
Highlights and stuff, but I have not watched a full Maryland game. I probably will this week. In the next couple of days, I'll try to watch a lot more breakdown of some of their stuff. But yeah, looking at Maryland, Oregon does open up. I mean, depending on where you look, as 24 to 25 point home favorites against Maryland. That's a big line. Let's just call it 24 and a half even. That's a large line to open up as favorites for, but I kind of understand it also. Because if we look at Maryland's season, it has been, let's say, up and down, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't know if there's a better way to put that. I mean, congratulations, Maryland. You beat the hell out of UConn. You lost to Michigan State. You beat Virginia. All right. That's respectable. You won against Villanova. Yay. Lost to Indiana. You lost to you got blown up by Northwestern.
Yeah.
Then you beat the Fighting Rileys. And then Minnesota beat the hell out of you. Minnesota's not terrible. Minnesota's playing better. So I guess that's also okay. That's going to happen. But you lost to Northwestern.
Yeah. You somehow beat USC. You play a competitive game against Indiana. You get blown out against Northwestern. You somehow beat USC by throwing for 400 yards. Yeah. No wonder they beat USC. And then you get trucked by Minnesota.
The Fighting Flex.
I mean,
which again, I'll give them the Minnesota pass at least. I mean, in a sense, Minnesota's playing better. They are playing pretty decent, but yeah, I mean, they're 4-4. It has been an up and down season, to say the least. It's like win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. You know, it's up and down, to say the least.
Did I see that game after Oregon? Their tickets as low as $3.
33.
No, below the Oregon game.
Oh, yeah. At home versus Rutgers.
Holy shit! $7 versus Iowa.
I don't know. Oh, $15 for Penn State. At Penn State.
No way. That's just crazy.
I mean, that's like standing room only type of things, but still, yeah.
Hey, no, man, I paid $41 and I'm sitting like mid-level corner end zone on the lower bowl. About 15 rows up.
Give it that one. Yeah. So, sorry, I was flipping tabs there. Yeah, Maryland season's up and down. But looking at Maryland as a team, going on the road, first ever meeting against Oregon, first full country, like cross country trip that they've done. At least they're coming off a bye week, but it's a long trip. Again, it seems like it's mostly their defense because Billy Edwards is not doing too bad. I mean,
No.
68.5% completion, basically 16-6 touchdown interceptions. Not crazy stats, but pretty good. I mean, still pretty solid stats.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
13 sacks, though.
Yeah, the sacks have been a bit of an issue. You could argue the same with Oregon, but that was literally in the first 2 weeks. It's like that was literally the first 2 weeks. The 7 sacks happened against Gabriel. So the sacks are a bit of an issue with them. Sack yard lost too. That means it's literally almost 10 yards per sack loss.
Yeah.
That's not good either. Rushing, they're not a good rush team. I mean, their top guy Hemby is literally 403 yards, and then it's a heavy drop off.
They had 952 yards between all their guys.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
I don't think, and this is not even talking about the sack yards lost either. This is just literally rushing stats. That's not good.
They have 6 with Edwards. They got 13. So Edwards literally has half their rushing touchdowns on the season.
So, well, that's something Oregon's going to watch because obviously in the red zone, they're using him, or at least in the red zone area, they're using him as more of a little bit of a dual threat to pull once in a while. Now, some of that could be quarterback sneaks. Again, I haven't deep dived into their film. I'm going to guess half of those are probably like QB sneaks. But
yeah, 60 carries for 71 yards. So, I mean, along with 15, but 5 of them are touchdowns. Those 5 touchdowns are probably less than 5 yards each.
Yeah, they're probably sneaks and or just quick pulls within the 10-yard line type of thing. Yeah, I need to look more into those stats, but yeah, their rushing offense is not great, not great. But their passing offense makes up for it also. So, because Maryland runs kind of a funky pass offense. It's kind of an interesting offense, I've heard. I need to deep dive more into it, but I've heard it's actually pretty interesting. So it's going to be fun to watch the tape more in the next couple of days on them. Yeah, receiving, they've got a couple guys. After that, again, it's a steep, pretty kind of mid.
They got 4 guys.
Yeah, they've got 4 decent, but even after the first 2, it's a drop off. So Philton obviously is going to be a focus, and Prather here, Prather, however you want to go with that. I mean, their tight end is number 3, so obviously you're going to have to watch out for the tight ends too, of course. I mean, that's pretty good. 13.4 yards per reception average. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a tight end.
Yeah.
I think Maryland's biggest problem is their defense. Their defense, I think, is probably the main issue. What is their special teams looking like? Pretty good, 40-49, 0 at 50 plus, long of 46, 25 at 26 extra points, 96% field goals, only 13 field goal attempts, only 9 made. That's not great. But they are 0 for 3 for 50, so there's most of your misses. Oh, that's pretty respectable. I think we're going to put them in a lot of bad situations, though. Yeah, this will be a good game. This will be Hills. I think this will be a good game for Birch to really kind of. He warmed up last week. I think this will be the week where he kind of.
They intercepted it. They've only got
13
8
picks, I
pass
believe.
deflections.
I think they have
So not a lot.
I'm sorry, let's see, sacks defensively, sacks wise, they have 13 sacks. That's not great. And
They've got like 8 interceptions.
18 pass deflections, 9 interceptions. Not great numbers either. But Oregon doesn't have a great
Oregon
interception
doesn't have a
numbers
great
either.
interception rate neither.
But we have sack numbers. We do have the sack numbers.
We have sack numbers. We have forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, tackle for losses.
Yeah.
They have TFLs in here.
I
I don't see TFLs. No.
Forced fumbles, they have 5.
They do not have TFLs in there, so
no, they don't. But yeah, their sack numbers are not great.
But if you go through TFL numbers and solo tackles, Oregon's got a lot in those numbers.
Yeah,
what does our defense have in comparison?
For solo,
just out of curiosity,
solo,
yeah, for solos and tackle for losses, or
I've got you right here. So solo, Maryland has 284, 13 sacks. We've got Oregon solo tackles 263, and we have 23 sacks.
And 250 assisted tackles, meaning 2 or more guys.
Yeah, and Maryland
tackle.
has
That's
only
probably
194.
300. Yeah. So almost 3 times what Maryland has in assisted tackles.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing with Maryland. I think it has been their defense because they're not playing juggernaut offenses. Sorry, Minnesota and Michigan State are not juggernaut offenses, by any stretch. But I think Troy makes a good point. Historically, the Terps they're one of those things, they play up and down to their competition.
Yeah, they should have beat Penn State last year in Happy Valley, but that was one of the games that their offense and Tua's brother could not do absolutely nothing. They had multiple opportunities and lost. I believe it was a 4-point game last year in Happy Valley that they should have won.
I think. Yeah, it was pretty close.
They should have won.
I do think that, Maryland, though, is in kind of for a shock because, again, they have not seen an offense like Oregon's. And, we talked about the third quarter lulls. It is because Oregon gets up so big that they
and
just
Loxley sounded a little scared today when he talked about that. He just kind of like chuckled it as basically saying, yeah, we're in trouble with Oregon's offense.
Yeah, he spoke very directly about things. He's just like, look, we just have to execute. We need to do what we can do, and not worry about noise. Basically, he was pretty blunt about it. But that's like with Hills here, it's like they're going all the way across the country. And Loxley referred to that also. He's like, it's a long trip from Maryland to Oregon. That is cross country. So
yeah. That's probably a 10-hour flight, 8-hour flight.
Probably like 6.5. Depending on if they can get like nonstop, if they can get nonstop to Eugene, like charter it basically, it's probably like 6.5 hours, 6.5. It's really not that bad. It's just then acclimating to the time zone once you get there and reset yourself. So they were going to get there, I believe, tomorrow. He said on Thursday in Oregon and acclimate and just kind of go as normal.
Yeah, they'll probably get in tomorrow afternoon, evening.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. And the game on Saturday is at
6 p.m. your time.
6 p.m. Okay, I was like, what time is it? So that means the post game will be 9:30 Central, which is actually good because I have to be up at like 4 a.m. Sunday morning to fly out. So that's actually good. I'm like, it wasn't a late game.
See you there all week next week?
Yes. But nothing changes. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Right. You're just there for a week. Yeah.
We'll talk backstage. But yeah, this is gonna be rough for Maryland, and yeah, Loxley pretty much showed that. Yeah, it's
Actually, the rain
rough.
chance is down to 40%, Captain. They're saying by game time it's going to be dry. What is it? It never rains in Autzen Stadium.
That's right. It never rains in Autzen Stadium.
So come game time, it's looking like we're going to be dry.
Unless it's a monsoon. And that's not rain.
Shut your pie hole.
That's a flood.
Shut your pie hole.
Don't make me pull out the 2013 Cal Oregon game. Don't make me pull out that film footage.
USC? Nope. I believe USC was 2018 or 2019. My kid was at that game. He said the game was great, but man, I was miserable.
Oh yeah, that's why I always just think of the 2013 Cal at Oregon game, where literally everyone was just sliding through like puddles of water. The field was literally like an inch deep in water. It was such a messy game. There was like 7 fumbles in that game or something like that. It was a disaster. Still won, but it was not pretty.
But yeah, I'm hoping that we don't get any wetness.
I mean, yeah, I hope not. I mean, one thing we have to compliment, I think that Mike Loxley, and we know Dan Lanning is, if it's raining or moist out, they're smarter than Lincoln Riley to not throw the ball 50 times in the rain. Shout out USC.
Yeah.
Who throws the ball 50 times in the rain? Idiot.
Lincoln Riley.
Oh, well, yeah, thank you, obviously.
But if it's wetting at all, it's any kind of wetness that's heavy, you'll be seeing a lot of Jordan James left, Jordan James right, Bucky Irving up, or excuse me, Noah Winnington up the middle, off to the corner.
I wish some Bucky Irving.
Yeah, I wish some Bucky Irving. He's looking good though down in Tampa. Shout out Bucky Irving in Tampa.
Right. I don't even think if it's raining really bad too, I don't even think you'll see jet sweeps so much. I think you'll literally just see them line it up and fucking just pound it. I mean, like,
just brutalize Maryland's front line. And then here's a little flip screen for 40 yards, touchdown,
Yeah, screen. I can see, some screen passes, very simple kind of, maybe some touch pass, real quick outs kind of things. But yeah, there won't be anything crazy. But if Maryland gets down, they'll have to throw. But I think it'll be a good game time weather. I think we'll be all right.
I think just like the last 2 games I've been at, this game will probably be over by halftime.
Probably. That's kind of what I'm expecting, and that's why when we talk about those third quarter lulls, I think it is because Oregon just gets up, they're never feeling pressured, and then they just kind of cruise for the most part. And so let's address that, because there was some a lot of hate on Oregon. Basically, like Dan Lanning running in that touchdown at the end of the game against Michigan. It's classless. We'll remember. It's like, stop the run then. It's not like he was throwing the ball. They were just running.
That was a 2-score game that was almost a 1-score game with 7 minutes left in the game when we got the ball at our 6-yard line, I believe, and we drove 94 yards. Sorry that your ass couldn't stop it at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, because the last 4 or 5 plays of the game were runs. So it's not like they were throwing the ball at that point. They were literally just running the ball.
I will admit, I thought they were going to kneel. I did.
Lanning normally.
Yeah.
After they got the first down on like a 10-yard run and it went to the 2-minute warning, I thought Lanning would like run one more time and then kneel it. But I think analytically, statistically, he was looking at what this team has done all year and gone, we need a little style point.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's kind of what it was. Is they just need some style
and we need to
points.
show ourselves that okay, we can still.
Yeah, and again, it was just running the ball. He wasn't throwing it or doing anything complicated. It was literally just run right up the middle type of ball. Michigan, stop it. I mean, just you have to stop the run.
You're 100% on that, Captain, right there. And it's probably will be Rogers, and you're right. He is a much better run blocker than a pass blocker. It seems to be when at passing situations he tends to get beat occasionally. But against the run, yeah, he helps open holes.
Then and on the O line, Bedford's going to medical this year. He's not going to play this year. There's no reason to burn a potential red shirt to come back at this point for Bedford too. So you're not going to see him get involved.
I don't think so either.
He'll medical this year.
Yeah. Hopefully a bunch of Jay Harris and the whole Gladiator. Yeah,
I'd like to see Jay Harris, a bit more of Jay Harris, but I wouldn't also mind seeing
Jordan Lamar.
Why? Well, Lamar, I'd like to see more Lamar, but why don't, man, I tell you.
Oh, that kid they put in a couple weeks ago.
Not Ruggs. What? Riggs. Yeah, I was like, not Ruggs, Riggs. I would love to see more of him too. I mean, he's like,
he had some explosive plays too.
He's like 5th on the depth chart. That's how deep the running back room is.
And he had some explosive plays when he got in. Just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I was like, it's not Ruggs. I was like, yeah, Riggs. Yeah. Some days there's
Riggs
too many.
And Murtaugh.
There's too many names to remember.
Riggs and Murtaugh.
Hey, Spaz.
Riggs, hit that hole.
Hey, Spaz.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please. You have the shittiest drum rolls. Score prediction time on the spot. I just put you out there for this. Shout out to Spaz. He beat me last week. We were both pretty damn close, though. He did win last week.
Yeah. What was the what was the score last week?
Something like 38-17. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't recall.
Yeah, what was my prediction?
And something like 38-17. I don't really recall. Hey, I was pretty close. 42-14. I was pretty damn close. I was pretty damn close.
You were within 7 between the two sides. Yeah, you were there. I just happened to get the first nail of the season.
Yes, he did.
Ben denies it to me.
No.
Says, there's only 2 of us. I don't want to hear it. There's only 2 of us.
I was prepared.
Prediction.
I was prepared for your bitching. I was prepared.
But because there's not 3 or 4 of us, I only get the 1 point.
That's
Last year, we got 2 points for a perfect score prediction.
Because it was, at that point, too, again, with so many people, it was easier to catch up. It was easier to be able to catch up. There's only 2 of us, so you're still ahead now. You are now 5-4 on the season. I'm 4-4.
I could be 6, damn it.
Or 4-5. Yeah, you could be, but you're not. So shut the fuck up. Second F-bomb of the night. I'm doing pretty good tonight. I'm doing pretty good. We're an hour in, only 2 F-bombs. That's nice. So I'll go first because you did go first last week on the score prediction. So I'll go first this week. Really haven't given this a ton of thought. I'm gonna lean kind of the same thing. I don't want to keep it the same, but I'm gonna go with something in the realm of I'm gonna go around 40. I'm gonna you know what? I'm just gonna keep it 42-14 Oregon. It's a tough choice. I'm trying to change some numbers, but I kind of am looking around the way Oregon plays and the way Maryland does. I'm kind of going, I just don't. I can see 42-14, something like that. I don't think Oregon's going to try to run up the score. That's my thing. They just haven't been doing that this year.
Well, and now that Penn State's lost, if we just handle our business,
we're good. We're good to go. Yeah,
we ain't got to worry about any crazy style point needed tiebreaker breaker. So
I like how Spaz has fancy pinky up going on.
it'll either
Let's go over here.
be, yeah, it'll be a piece of cake at that point. So I think, as I predicted earlier, Oregon, no, they have not ran up the score this year. No, they have not gone for major style points. However, after last week's performance, I truly believe now it's ramp up season. Now it's ramp up time. And I think after some of the message that Dan Lanning put out in the last We Are Oregon, basically, I think we're going to see the first 50 burger of the year out of Oregon. And my prediction is going to be 55-13.
55-13. All right. That I don't think any of us have even guessed a 50-point win this season. Or not a 50-point win, but 50 points scored. Let me flip through some pages here.
Yeah, flip through. I don't think so.
This notebook's a mess.
If so, it might have been like 51.
And that was probably against Idaho, and that didn't come to fruition.
No.
Yeah, this notebook's a mess. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Okay, yeah. Idaho was the only one. You guessed 52-10. I put 60-13.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow, were we way off that game?
You guessed 55-10 at UCLA.
Oh.
After that, we settled for reality.
Right. We stopped going on the high scoring wins.
Yeah.
But I think this game, something tells me that we're going to get that high one.
Yeah. This is kind of the feel of this team. Like, yeah, you have the lulls, but they get up so big where you're confident. And yeah, like here, it's just keep everyone healthy. Don't do anything crazy. And just kind of coast because you've taken care of business. But when they need to, the Idaho game, the Boise State game, shout out Boise State. That win's looking really good now. Keep it up, Broncos.
Yeah, they're 12.
Yeah, keep it up.
And if I'm not counting on this, I hope it's not. But if what people say could happen does happen, and Oregon,
we could host Boise.
We dropped that one game between now and or the conference championship. They're very likely it is 5-12 Oregon Boise State. Unless Boise State moves up more.
I don't want to see Boise State again, to be honest. Just no, I don't.
It's kind of like facing Ohio State again. It's like, I don't
want to see Boise State again.
I don't think I want to see those guys again.
Boise State is a good enough team, especially getting the playoff. They're going to be so hyped for it, no matter what, that they're going to be a kind of a danger. I could see them taking out a team, in the initial.
I don't see them taking.
In the initial round, I could see them taking out one team at least in that initial round.
If it was us versus them, we're going to blow them this time. They're not even going to play around.
Spaz, watch your language. We're going to blow them out, not blow them. Spaz.
You know what I mean?
What the hell is going on? Troy, will you don't amp up Troy to say something weird. Stop it. All right. Anyways. Yeah. I think that's it. This team though, when it's in that situation, like we were saying, Idaho, Boise State, and then Ohio State, there's no problem in the third or fourth quarters. Like you see that team play. It's just in those lull situations where everything's comfortable and like coasting. It's a rotation.
Yeah, it's a rotation. Play calling.
Well, it's also just don't no one get hurt kind of situation. Like basically,
Yeah,
like,
they're calling simple, basic. Let's not get anybody hurt. Let's just finish the game out plays.
yeah. Which and again I respect the coaching staff for that too. It's at the same
That's
time
smart. You're gonna play 13, possibly 16 games this year.
right.
Yeah. It's using the noodle.
Yeah, which I mean, and I understand like some people saying, "Hey, in the playoff, get the home field advantage," but the bye get a week off, one extra week of prep to look at the two teams that you might be playing.
You'd
Rest
end
of
up
guys.
having 2 bye weeks in a 3-week period. You'd
Yeah.
have a bye week. You'd play your rival. You'd have another bye week,
No,
and then you'd play
no,
whoever.
no.
2 weeks.
We have a bye week, Washington
Oh yeah,
championship
the
game,
Big 12,
then a bye
and
game.
then you'd have another bye.
Big 12. We're in the Big 10, Spaz.
Fuck whatever.
Oh my, Spaz is losing his mind. I think the show is almost over. This is when this is when he's like, I've had enough of this. Oh man. All right, so we got Spaz at 55-13 over Maryland, and I have 42-14 over the Fighting Maryland Terps. And the chat has spoken also. That they're all pretty much in our range here. Pretty much. Frankney is kind of on your end, 49-13. William is 35-10. Hiltz is 45-14. Troy even says 38-17. Pretty somewhere in that high 30 to 40 range. So we're going to see. And everyone's giving the Terps some points. It's going to happen. There's going to be at least the last late touchdown or field goal, you know. So
maybe even a couple scores, you know, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but I do like how the defense has closed out games.
I do like how our backups have came in these games and
you walked yourself into that one.
Captain.
It's like you walked yourself into that one.
Oh, you some bitches.
You got to watch it. You're on the internet, Spaz. I don't know if you realize this. You need to watch what you say. And you're on here with me, so, you know. I'm going to call this stuff out.
Yeah, Ben's losing it too. Oh, Lord.
Oh, God. This is not even the Monday show. Or the Sunday show. What is happening right now?
I don't know. Oh, shit.
Mrs. Spaz is going to be jealous. All right. Any final thoughts on Maryland? Oh, God. You missed absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Do not go back and watch. Do not go back and watch.
Oh, shit.
Don't.
Oh.
Spaz, any final thoughts on Maryland?
What an epic run, Dan Lanning and this Oregon team. Also, shout out to the Scott Anderson and the video crew, and just the great videos they keep putting out week after week after week. And we finally got to find out what the thumbs down was all about. And now it's Gladiator Up. And and shout out to Fox for that great video tribute they did. If you haven't seen it, go look at it. I believe it's Joel Klatt with Fox Sports. They did a tribute video of the hill run for Tyree and
Webb.
Spencer Webb, thank you. Yeah, calling it Webb's Run or Alley or whatever, up to Spencer Butte. And that was a great video as well. Thank you, Fox Sports, for keeping our guys in remembrance. And also shout out to what's his name in Minnesota, the Vikings defensive player that he puts something up next to Kyrie or in Kyrie's locker every week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah. I can't think of the guy's name, but he's one of the top Minnesota Viking defenders, one of the veterans. He does a tribute every week because his locker is right next to Kyrie's.
Oh, okay. Well, I know that's cool. I didn't see that one. So yeah, I know about the Fox one. So yeah, obviously shout out for that, especially. Maryland, we've never played them before, but this
They may
isn't.
never want to play us again.
This isn't some of the older Oregon teams.
This isn't your
Well-
1970s and 80s Oregon Ducks now.
Yeah, Lanning and the staff have every week focus, just like we said, figuring out what the thumbs down thing was, and then taking a timeout at the end of the game there to pull them over to be
say,
like,
this is what we were talking about. Watch
As-
him leave.
yeah,
Watch
watching
'em
Michigan fans leave. Yeah, it's like the motivation that this staff instills in this team every week, no matter
The
who it is.
psyche.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just amazing. That's something we do not see and have not seen, that type of stuff from coaching staffs.
No.
Sorry,
And
Maryland.
Dan Lanning's not afraid to share it neither.
Yeah. Oh no, God no. And the staff,
Colorado, he let him in, everything, and week after week, and the bigger this team gets, the more down to earth,
yeah.
Dan Lanning we get every single week.
And for GWG here, it's so they watched Gladiator. So it was when the Emperor was like yes or no, and he did the thumbs down, and they're like, "Are you not entertained?" So it was about watching the Michigan fans leave, and it was about the whole mentality of just fighting the whole time, basically. Yeah,
It's the FIBU. It started with FIBU,
pretty much,
and now it's, are you not entertained?
Yeah, and every week it's something different. That's the thing. It's not like the same message for 6 weeks in a row. Like every week, Lanning and the staff have a different kind of hype up message to send to the team, and it's great. So Maryland, enjoy your trip to Oregon. You're gonna want the flight back quickly. It's not gonna be fun for you. I think Maryland will keep it close for a quarter and a half, and then you're going to see what Oregon did at Michigan, and just take off after that, and put it away, basically. I think Maryland can cause us a little bit of troubles in the first quarter, but not for long.
Stanford last year. Oh my God, what? Spaz, calm down. It's going to be just fine. All of a sudden, it's 55-10.
Yeah, stop it. I ignore your texts on game day these days. Stop ruining my moments. I'm trying to watch the game, damn it.
They haven't been as complex this year. They've been very few and far between.
There was a great comment, and this is one of the final comments, then we're going to get the hell out of here. People said during the Michigan game, it really looked like Oregon was actually almost bored. Like the play calling. They really did not do anything than what they've already done all year. They didn't do anything.
Once it was 28-10.
No, before that, the entire game, they didn't do any special plays or anything. It was literally the sweep, screens, run up the middle. Even the Stewart catch that got called back, that was just a scramble on verticals. There was nothing complex. There was no trickery. There was nothing. Oregon just ran like a generic playbook against Michigan. And actually, as I watched that more back, looked at it, I'm like, yeah, there was absolutely nothing. Nothing
really out of the ordinary compared to any other week this year. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, maybe you could say the punt formation, that was film by the punt formation, which was off balance.
Yeah.
That was more watching film to know Michigan lined up like that to kind of throw them off. But that's setting up for maybe like a fake or a direct snap or something like that later on a fake. But they didn't do anything special in this game, literally.
No.
There was nothing, especially without Johnson.
I think it got down back a little bit more even after Tez went down. Yeah, exactly.
Possibly, yeah. So, I mean, there was nothing special in this game at all, like offensively. Oregon just did what they did. They lined up and they ran plays. That was it.
When they needed to play, it was all right, Trey. And
pretty much,
Trey went and got it. They're doubling Evan. Trey, we're gonna go to you. That 40-yard one that they called on the video, that where Trey came all the way across and it came right over the top of his shoulder from like 40 yards out. That was
on the last drive,
on the last major drive. Yeah, that was just disgusting.
Well, it was a great scramble by Gabriel too. So, all right. Well, I guess that wraps up the Maryland preview and talking about injuries and reviewing Michigan here a little bit too earlier. So,
going for number 10.
Ooh, and we got a target on back. Whenever you're a high-ranked team, though, you always have a target on your back. Whether number 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, you always have a target.
And it's off to that land of Camp Randall.
Oh yeah, that'll be a good one next week. That'll be a good one.
Ooh.
Everyone, if you haven't, please hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share this out with your friends, bring in some new members, new people into the show.
Yeah,
we're trying to build the base here.
Recruit your friends.
Damn
We'd
right.
like to get to 2,500 by the end of the season.
I want 3,000. I'm going to be greedy.
Yeah, but get your friends, get more people in here. We'd love to have more people. We get tired of looking at each other. We'd much rather, have some conversation in the chat going.
Yeah, you think I like looking at Spaz every week, several times a week? God damn, it's annoying.
Ben and his beard that's stained. Yeah, never mind.
I'm gonna trim it. Shut up. But yeah. So make sure everyone tune in also this Saturday. It should be about 9:30 Central.
9:30, 9:45. Hopefully, I'm getting a pair of headsets that's going to work with this phone. And I will hopefully be on the field with some fans for the post game this week.
There we go. Yeah, so Spaz should be at the game. He'll be maybe on the field.
Maybe I'll catch Ryan Winter before he does his post game on the field.
Maybe. Yeah. Otherwise, it will be here at the normal time, 15, 20 minutes ish right after the game for the post game live stream. Whether Spaz joins us or not, we'll see. Depends on signal, audio, all this stuff. But I will be right here.
Signal was good. I just needed headphones. Signal worked. Signal worked. You did see me on the field. Signal was working. I just needed headphones.
Fair enough. So everyone, though, make sure that's why I like and subscribe, hit the notification. That way you'll know when we're going to go live on Saturday for the post game. And do check us out back here as we will review the Maryland at Oregon game. Oregon minus 25. I don't know if they cover, but I won't be surprised.
And if it's wet and really, really wet, you will see me on the post game because I will jet to the car as quick as I can.
There you go. All right, everyone. From Spaz and I and the Voice of College Network here on the Oregon channel, we want to thank you very much for, of course, coming in and joining us. And why is this not doing anything? There we go. I'm in the background trying to pick stuff, and it's not working. Oh my God.
4 years.
All right, everyone. We'll see you on the post game this Saturday, and then next Wednesday for the live show as we then preview Wisconsin. So Everyone, have a good night. Shut up, Spaz.
4 more years.